Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. There has been an escalating series of terror attacks in J&K. The latest is a string of violent incidents that occurred on Thursday in Gulmarg, where terrorists ambushed 2 Indian Army trucks, resulting in the deaths of 3 soldiers and 2 porters. Now, National Conference President Farooq Abdullah has made a strong statement on Friday asserting that J&K will never become part of Pakistan. He has urged Islamabad to halt its promotion of terrorism and instead focus on its own development. Only recently at the SEO summit in Islamabad, External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar criticized Pakistan, stating that cross-border extremism and separatism hinder bilateral trade and relations, even as Pakistan continues to push for dialogue and trade with India. Now, the recent terror attacks in Kashmir is a reminder that centre, the Union Territory's new government, and everyone with stakes in J&K's democracy cannot afford to lower their guard. This terror attack, barely days after J&K's first elected government in 9 years assumed charge, is a reminder that peace has a cost and we cannot lose it at any cost. Joining us now to discuss all of this is a group of esteemed guests. But first, let's look at some reactions.
इस रियासत में ये होते रहे। मैंने ये आज 30 साल से देख रहा हूँ और बेगुनाह मारे जाते हैं और हम पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा बनने वाले नहीं हैं। तो ये कर किस लिए रहे हैं? हमारे मुस्तकबिल को खराब करने के लिए, बर्बाद करने के लिए। वो खुद बर्बाद हो रहे हैं, हमें भी साथ बर्बाद कर रहे हैं। और ये मैं उनसे जो इसमें घायल हुए हैं, शहीद हुए हैं, उनको श्रद्धांजलि पेश करता हूँ और उनके ख़ानदानों से माफ़ी मांगता हूँ कि ये हो रहा है।
Joining us now is General Satish Dua, former Chief Integrated Defence Staff. We have R.P. Singh, spokesperson of the BJP. We have Imran Abidar, who is the spokesperson of NC. We also have Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, who is ex-DG Infantry. Thank you, all of you, for joining me on this broadcast. To start with you, General Dua, how important it is that the signals sent by the perpetrators of the recent attack are not lost on us, especially on the government, both in New Delhi and Srinagar, because if you look at the tunnel project in Gulmarg that the victims were engaged in, it is clearly a part of a larger initiative to create connectivity between J&K and of course the rest of the country. It is strategically important both from security and tourism point of view. Till now, there was an understanding that militants keep away from major infrastructure projects in the valley, but clearly this new direction is worrying.
I think the terrorists and their handlers from across the LOC are very worried. Let's go back in time a bit. 5 years ago, when Article 370 was diluted, Pakistan had to, sorry for my using this colloquial word, but Pakistan had to, after making a lot of noise, just had to lump it. Then, over the last 5 years, a lot of development has taken place. Political process has now been set into place. Normalcy is returning, tourists are returning, business is booming, etc. And now that we also have, apart from the panchayat in place, we also have the Lok Sabha elections have taken place peacefully and very participative elections, and then the state assembly, the J&K assembly elections. Now, this frustrates Pakistan. We saw before the elections, there was an activation of Poonch Rajouri area and Doda Bhadrawa area. Terrorists from across the LOC came and did that. They wanted to disrupt the elections. That could not happen, and people participated willingly. And now, after the government has been sworn in, they have carried out these 2 terror attacks as if to unsettle the new government. They are frustrated.
Right.
What is happening now from the handlers across is an attempt to muddy up, stir up the waters and create common trouble. Now, terror, we've had talks recently with while the External Affairs Ministers made their overture and went to for the SEO meet to Pakistan. But on the other hand, if we continue to have attacks like this, which are no doubt coming from Pakistan, because on another channel I was being asked, there was a Pakistani panelist who said, what is the proof? Now, I'll just end with this. This attack has been caused and claimed by PAF, PAFF. Now, if PAF has claimed the attack, it's an open secret that PAF is a front for Jaish-e-Mohammed. Where are the Jaish-e-Mohammed leaders? Where are the Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters? Now, everything comes from across.
Right.
So, Pakistan has to rein in. Otherwise, we will continue to have these small attacks here and there. Loss of lives is always very sad, but we will never make any progress in trying to normalize relations.
Right. Talking about Pakistan, General Kulkarni, we have seen Nawaz Sharif in the last few days calling for India and Pakistan to move on from the past. He said that the two sides must pick up threads of the conversation that, began with former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and also with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What is Pakistan's playbook when it comes to India? Is it asking for trade on one hand but also pushing terror on the other?
See, Pakistan's agenda has always been hate India. Pakistan has been using terrorism as an instrument of state policy. And Pakistan feels, rightly said by General Dua, frustrated. It cannot just be able to digest that how is it that despite all the efforts since 1947, that there is democracy in J&K and there's vibrant democracy with the kind of, overall, the kind of participation with over 61% people participating, the national conference being put in power. This is something which Pakistan cannot tolerate. And now we have Nawaz Sharif, the brother of the Prime Minister, saying that let's have trade, electricity and all that. It's not possible because until and unless there is no terror, because Pakistan has mastered the art of exporting terror. And that's all. It has done nothing but exporting terror since 1947 and it continues to do so. We cannot, and India has been insisting again and again, despite all the best efforts that India has made to, try and have good relations with Pakistan. Pakistan doesn't seem to understand that. And therefore, it's absolutely clear that there can be no talks until and unless the terror emanating from Pakistan ends. This policy of Pakistan leading India with 1,000 cuts, the deep state that it continues to be, you see it all along, whether it is south of Punjab or whether it is north. Now that the government has come in place, it is not able to somehow, feel that how is it that despite all the effort that we've been doing, Kashmiris themselves seem to be wanting to get rid of Pakistan. And here comes the ex-chief minister of J&K stating very clearly that let Pakistan know for sure that Kashmir can never be part of Pakistan and it must not indulge in any terror activities in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. With that, and after abrogation of Article 370, and again, Pakistan seems to feel, now not just that, it has changed its modus operandi. Now, wherever there is a possibility of tourism, come on, obstruct tourism, kill to some tourists here and there, migrants being killed over there, activities that are ensuring development and see to it that they don't progress further. Now you saw what happened in Gulmarg, infiltration across the LOC, in all these activities that are being done by Pakistan at the behest of Pakistan, utilizing the sleeper cells in India, utilizing the overground workers in India as something. And again, for that, I would only say final word is that even within Kashmir also, at no point of time, because the elections were held by the parties for two reasons. One was statehood, the other was the restoration of Article 370. Had that word restoration of Article 370 not been part of the election agenda of the parties, some of these parties from the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, probably because this restoration of Article 370 sows the seed of separatism.
Okay.
And we are getting
I'll come to that. Let
thing.
me also get in RP Singh here. Sir, you spent significant time in Kashmir. The number of separatists that stood as independents in the recent elections also showed that the sentiment is still existing in the valley. How important is addressing that, for that matter, even quelling that for peace to return to J&K?
Well, let's understand. Problem is not in Kashmir. Problem is across the border. They can't swallow this, that elections have been held here. Democratic government has been elected. Not the ruling party government, but the party which was opposing the ruling party. They have won the election. And then almost 60+% people voted for that government. And that government is speaking the language which Pakistan don't understand. Farooq Abdullah Sahab has categorically stated that Pakistan should shoo away. I mean, Pakistan should not intervene into Indian matters, and then India can't be, Jammu Kashmir can't be Pakistan or can never be part of Pakistan. So this is a difficulty for Pakistan to understand that how do democracy work, and under democracy also, how do the development happens. So their target is somehow to hit the development work so that people should not come here, and then the all the development work should be stalled. One, and they also know that all this development work also hampers their military interests also, because more the road, the more the infrastructure, faster the army can reach the borders, and faster it can do what they want to do or retaliate or give the answers back. The other part is that there are certain elements in Kashmir also, even now, there are parties which are still supporting for a talk with Pakistan, and they are saying that we should hold talks with Pakistan. They at times it looks like they are working like an overgrown worker of the people who want terrorism to be here. So, which is sad. When they should understand, terror and talk can never go together, and this is the stated policy of the government of India. Till the time they stop sending terrorists here and they stop conducting terrorist activity in India, there can never be any talk.
Right.
But the broader, give me another 5 seconds. The broader thing is that India is firm on its resolution. That resolution is that what come may, we will do whatever development work has to be done in Kashmir, and then whatever need to be done in Kashmir will be done, and Kashmir has to be part of the India's progress story.
Okay.
That Pakistan has to understand, and Kashmiris understand it very well now.
Okay. Imran Nabidar, everyone has been talking about Farooq Abdullah's statement. He has said that the attacks will not stop until a solution to this problem is also found, and he has said that he's been witnessing this for last 30 years. How does your government plan to address this uptick in terror incidents? It's a matter of concern for all. In this, at a time like this, how important do you think is to work closely with the centre? Because I remember civilian killings was also one reason why Omar Abdullah lost elections last time.
First of all, I want to express my condolences on my behalf from the party to the families who have lost their loved ones in this attack. 3 Jawans and 2 civilian porters have died, and it is really unfortunate. And this circle of bloodbath is not stopping. Back-to-back attacks have been going on for a couple of years now. And we were expecting that the government, which is responsible for maintaining law and order in Jammu and Kashmir, would get its act together and stop such kind of acts. As far as the question about what our government can do, see, we are a UT, and there are law and order provisions in the UT are not the subjects of the elected CM. It is the LG administration which is authorized to handle law and order situation. And as far as our government is concerned, we have Umar Saab has categorically expressed his desire and expressed his motive to cooperate with the LG administration with whatever ways he can, whatever ways the LG administration wants us to have address this pressing issue.
Right.
We are ready to do that. Yes, exactly.
Right. General Dua, when you talk about change in strategy, do you think that India would need more troops to handle what is happening in Kashmir? And how important is it for the state police to also reactivate something like human intelligence network so that, surveillance is intensified, especially about those who crossed the borders in the 90s are now settled down in Pakistan? In other words, what does the terror leadership think about India? Because I do feel that perception of J&K globally seems to have been resolved in the favor of India. Is that also what is instigating them?
Last part first, yes, certainly. The perception that people here are now in favor of India. I mean, we had the statement that was played out just now in your channel. And beside, not only this, there have been several such statements. There is that sentiment amongst the people that they don't want to think of Pakistan anymore. To join Pakistan is unthinkable. Here is a contrast between two countries. India is the growth story of India. I mean, we are the 5th largest, soon to be 3rd largest economy, and a rising global power of influence in the world. On the other hand, Pakistan is down economically. It is at its lowest politically, diplomatically. I mean, Pakistan is not certainly what a youth of Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir would like to aspire for. To your earlier question, uh, you asked me about the deployment and of intelligence
Yes, sir. Does
agencies.
India need more troops is what I was
Yes,
asking.
yes, deployment. So as far as troops deployment is concerned for the security, handling the security situation, let me tell you that the deployment in counter-terrorism is always dynamic. For about 10 years, we had peace and very comparative peace in the southern region, south of Pir Panjal. And so the deployment was shaped accordingly. And that is why Pakistan activated, the terrorists activated that area. Before the elections, we saw Poonch, Rajouri, Doda, Badrwa be activated.
Right.
So we've already pushed in, army has already pushed in more than a brigade, which was out in the media as well. Similarly, over here, the deployments are always dynamic as per the requirement of the situation. And as far as intelligence agencies are concerned, we have our intelligence grade is fairly robust. You make a good point about human intelligence. Yes, human intelligence, ever since we've started going on technical intelligence, I have also been saying as Corps Commander, we need to focus, we need to sort of not forget that human intelligence still goes a long way, and keeping a keen ear to the ground always pays dividends. And I'm sure we are doing it.
Right. General Kulkarni, to add on to what General Dua is also saying, many experts also believe that, this counter-terrorism grid that people talk about in the valley, they say that this is also what led to significant reduction in militant activity. This, apart from security clampdown, but the same cannot be said about a lot of other areas. We've heard about terrorists shifting areas, and, there are also areas where their imprint has also faded in the last 2 decades, but it's coming back. What do you think should be a strategy for J&K specifically, because J&K has started a new chapter in democracy?
Excellent. I would rather suggest that since it's a new chapter which has started in the state of J&K, rather the union territory of J&K, and it hasn't yet become the state, and where, like the National Conference, Imran has rightly said, the law and order remains with the Lieutenant Governor. It's an ideal time that the government in power must utilize all its time to ensure and totally make people understand that it is so much better that they do not at any point of time give logistic support to the people from across. There should be nothing. The aim should be of the party in power right now to win the hearts and minds of the people in the state, and to tell them time and again that, look, the restoration of Article 370 is out. We are not going to be looking at, we are not going to be part of Pakistan. And anyone there in the states supporting anyone from Pakistan, act as sleeper cells, act as overground workers, they are going to come with a very, very heavy hand. And it is the right time, because the law and order is the central subject. And therefore, since it's a union territory, the government must focus in ensuring that they completely, whatever little the people who still are in support of maybe Lashkar-e-Taiba, who are acting as the agents, acting as OGWs, providing logistic cover, information. So therefore, it's very important. This is the time that let the center handle the law and order with all the force it has, and the government in power ensures that the people understand. And therefore, slowly and steadily, then move to the state, and then obviously the state would be taking control of the law and order situation. Right. Because until and unless, like the fish can't stay without water, so can't these terrorists without the logistic support and the backing of the people from within. So Pakistan would automatically feel frustrated that not even anything is working in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Otherwise, what's happening is there is a small element. It may be a very small, like we rightly said, 60% people have voted. Presuming that 60% people are with it and they hate it, the balance 40%, even presuming 50% of that 40% are fence-sitters, there are some people who are still supporting until and unless there is a little bit of a support. And therefore, the government which has come into power with The restoration of Article 370 must stand firmly and say no restoration, statehood, yes, no restoration, and you will find that that seed sowed for separatism will get rid of.
Closing remarks from you, RP Singh, because these attacks also come a week after Jaishankar, the foreign minister, visited Pakistan, and he warned the host nation to end abetting terrorism. That a lot of us feel that these attacks could also be an implicit attack on them. There's a new government in place in the Union Territory of J&K. There are demands for statehood. At the same time, there's an uptick in terror incidents. How is the centre looking at handling all of this?
Well, we want good relationship with all our neighbors, China, Pakistan, for that regard, Burma or Nepal. We want good relationship with all our next door neighbors. But fact is that if Pakistan doesn't want to, then the deep state, they think they can probably keep doing this and they can probably lead us to that 1,000 cut, that theory they had. They are mistaken. Indian Army will retaliate, and I'm very sure something will be calibrated. Something should be on card calibrated by the Indian Army how to retaliate this, and how to take care of the Indian citizen and the Indian forces also. So we leave it to our Indian forces. From our side, we want good relationship, but terror has to stop, and we are leaving to the army to do the needful, because हिंदी में कहावत है लातों के भूत भातों से नहीं मानते.
Okay, Mr. Dar, last comment from you, sir, very quickly.
Having listened to all the panelists, National Conference has been a votary of peace, and we have suffered. People of Jammu and Kashmir have suffered over the last 30 years, and we will be the last ones to be happy on all this bloodshed. So the point is that, as I said earlier, that this issue about after 2019, there has been n number of attacks, and unfortunately, what should have happened has not happened. There should have been some sort of an accountability, which I'm not seeing, which we are not witnessing. Accountability from the people who are responsible for maintaining law and order. So let us hope that that this new wave of violence is stopped, and there should be no bloodshed. And I repeat, National Conference government is committed to work with the government to ensure that people of Jammu and Kashmir live peacefully.
Right. Thank you all of you for joining me on this broadcast. Thank you, Imran. In the face of continued Pakistan-sponsored terror, this is what we saw our panelists also talking about. As seen in J&K, strengthening of counter-terror machinery seems to be the need of the hour. Of course, these recent assaults are also part of disturbing trend of uptick in terror incidents that we have seen. Civilians have died, and also there have been military casualties. We'll keep tracking that and more. Time for a short break. More news and updates on that.